Well, hello, Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip,
And I'm CJ.
and it is Friday in the Rev, and we got a lot to talk about. But I guess there's a lot of other stuff going on. I guess on the national front, Chicago does it again. That somebody tried to burn somebody to death on a Chicago subway. The guy's got 49 arrests, 9 felonies, probably 35 of those, the remaining arrests were felonies that got knocked down so they can get the crime stats to look good. And the woman is unfortunately in critical condition in the hospital. And everybody's again saying, why is a guy like this? What is he doing out on the street? I'll tell you.
As for crime, I'm all against it. But did you hear? I'm not a professional anymore. According to the Trump administration, nursing is not a profession. So what the fuck am I? I go to school for all those years, and I'm not a profession.
Well, I agree. It's a highly specialized profession.
That's right.
I mean, you need a lot of training. I mean, you got to, you got people's lives in your hands, and I totally, obviously, totally disagree with that. But maybe they're trying to make like the only professionals people who like doctors and lawyers and stuff. But if you're going to make a doctor a professional, a nurse should be a professional, because
that's right.
I mean, fundamentally, you're dealing. I mean, it's not like you can become a nurse with a correspondence course. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just look. But what are you going to do?
Here's the way I look at it.
Listen. I would say where's the national nursing unions and stuff, and they should go over there and kick the shit out of them and lobby for them.
I agree, but let me tell you something. If I'm no longer a professional, I shouldn't have to pay $120 or $160 or $240 for a freaking license.
See that, Pat? See what Patrick said about you? You're a professional shit stirrer. See.
I know. Hey.
Yeah. Well, we're professional.
Doing that, I don't need a license.
We're professional ball busters, but that's not a. Maybe they should have a course at that. Maybe we can go to Brown and get a PhD in ball busting. I don't know.
There you go.
But but that's absurd. But like I said, what else is absurd is a guy with 49 arrests.
Well, the reason for that is liberal judges.
Yeah. Well, liberal of course, and a judge. He just got arrested a little while ago for assault, aggravated assault, I believe. And the judge released him, of course, a Democrat-appointed judge.
Of course.
With an ankle monitor.
Of course.
So they got him on video filling a bottle of gasoline, going on there, and pouring it on a woman and setting her on fire and saying, "Burn, bitch." And they got him, and he said he walked into the courtroom and he went, "I'm guilty." They said, "You can get up to life in prison." He said, "That's cool." The guy's not nuts. What are these people doing out on the street? I'll tell you.
Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe he doesn't want to live on the streets anymore. Maybe he wants a place to live. 3 hots in a cot. 3 hots in a cot, baby.
No, that's a very good point. 3 hots in a cot.
Yeah.
I mean, but this guy's. I mean, this is what we got, and when we deal with politics and the way they distort everything. I mean, the media. I mean, look what's going on in this country now. I mean, they're attacking, law enforcement, and then you got people that are supposed to be veterans, basically trying to get military people to disobey orders, which is sedition and treason, by the way. And the irony is that they went on and they got this skewed thing that all these media Democratic media outlets are showing, and they're saying, well, you have the right to, the Uniform Code of Military Justice says you have the right to not obey an unlawful order. So I saw one of the people being interviewed, and he was asked directly, what unlawful order has the commander-in-chief, the president, given that should be disobeyed? And his answer was, well, we're talking about comments. We're telling them that they have the right. Well, let me tell you something. They're always talking about Democrats saying, oh, you're insulting the intelligence of the voters, or well, they're insulting the intelligence of the military. Everybody in the military has to know the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And it's already in the Code of Military Justice that there are orders that are classified as illegal or and you don't have to follow them, like shoot civilians, execute people. These people went on there purely for political reasons to start a fire, just like they did and they're actually they're inciting sedition and treason, because you're going to tell military people, they're inferring, and then their con is, well, I didn't say that. I said we told them to disobey illegal orders. Well, who determines what an illegal order is? You're going to tell each individual soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine that they have, you're implying that they have a right to just say, well, I don't like that order. I'm not going to go into this battle because it looks like we might lose. And they know better, because most of them were not just enlisted men, they were officers. And the JLMC is the JLMC. I'm going to the labor. The Uniform Code of Military Justice. The UCMJ is very clear. It explains what illegal orders are. There are rules of engagement in the military. You can't shoot civilians. You can't, torture prisoners. The Geneva Convention. And these people did this purely because they just hate Trump, and they've got to do everything they can to try to make everything like he is some kind of, like right now in Rhode Island. I'm reading the thing from Channel 12, and they talked about how somebody was wrong. Rhode Island judge intervenes after ICE wrongfully detains an intern. That's what this article says. Rhode Island judge intervenes. He didn't intervene. He was giving that person a ride in his car. ICE, he was suspected of being an illegal. ICE tried to pull him over. The judge refused to pull over. ICE blocked the car. He wouldn't open the doors. They said they were going to break the windows. And then they finally let him out. Yeah, you're right, Gene. We learned that in basic training with the general orders. But he then opened the door. They took the guy out. They checked him out. He wasn't, and that was the end of it. But look what they made out of this. They're making ICE look like criminals. They're doing a job. It's like a police officer. If there was a break-in in your neighborhood and you said there was some guy with a black hoodie and you got a black hoodie on and a cop stopped you and you're not the guy, you're going to say, oh, the police, a thug. No, you're a potential suspect. You might have done it. They have the right to check. But everything is couched in this. These people are Gestapo, which is bullshit. And then you wonder why police officers and ICE agents and stuff are getting shot, getting assaulted. This is what happens in these states. They're making his judge. He intervened. He wasn't intervening. He was giving them a ride because they knew ICE was around. He was actually violating the law. He wasn't, because the guy wasn't an illegal, but all he had to do was let the guy go ahead, go out and walk. They're going to stop you, show him your ID, or stop immediately. He actually impeded an ICE operation, which is illegal, and he's a judge. These people, these liberal judges have forgotten what their duty is, to abide by the law. Yeah, he actually was giving sanctuary. You're right, Gene. I mean, these people are just crazy, and they lie about everything. Did you hear Jasmine Crockett? She read Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin took money from Epstein, and then immediately Lee Zeldin went right on social media and said, the Jeffrey Epstein I took money for is Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. Genius. And then this is how bad the Democrats are. They can't ever tell the truth, and they can't ever admit they were wrong. She was on the media today making herself look like a total buffoon. She actually told, of course, the CNN reporter, who even heard, she was rolling her eyes. She said, well, I didn't say it was that Jeffrey Epstein. So what are you saying, Dumbo? That you intentionally tried to mislead the public as a congressperson? You intentionally tried to mislead the public that you represent and try to demean a Republican. Well, I didn't say it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Well, then she said, and by the way, my interns just Googled it and it came up and there's no picture. But you know what was on the Google search? His name, Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. And you know what else was on there? That the campaign contribution was given after Jeffrey Epstein was dead. So this is how much research. Don't tell me this wasn't planned. She wanted to throw the first shit ball, like we know in politics. Throw the first shit ball, and the retraction, only 10% of the people will read the retraction. But Zeldin jumped right on it, and now it's on all the media. I mean, this is insane. These people are just, they're creating an environment where people are going to be killed. You know what? Oh, wow, okay. I know who you're talking about, Ryan. Okay, yeah. Oh, well, hey, like you said, that's the tragedy of the whole thing. But I mean, these people, the Democrats are talking about, all of you got to worry about the MAGA, the MAGA people, and they're inciting violence in this country on every single level. It's crazy how badly they do it, and they do it in every single way. I mean, this poor woman had got incinerated. 49 arrests. I don't know, CJ. I don't know what, it's just crazy. These people just lie. I mean, they're just pathological liars.
A politician is lying. They're moving their lips.
Yeah. And like I said, and then it's bad enough when you lie, but it's kind of like Paul when he said, high rents are good, then he denied it. Jasmine Crockett should have just shut her mouth and said, okay, my interns made a mistake. No, she had to deflect it and try to explain, they did, there's no picture. There's no picture? Well, apparently the interns can't read. They're like you. They're imbeciles. It said Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, and they had a date that was after Epstein was dead. So what did they think? Jeffrey Epstein gave a campaign donation, became a doctor, and gave Lee Zeldin a campaign contribution after he died. Okay.
Why not?
To believe that.
In Fall River, the dead vote. In Chicago, the dead vote.
Oh, yeah, Annalise. Ciao, Annalise. Mandami is at the White House now. Well, that's now. I mean, and again, the media loves to try to help the Democrats in any way they can, like cover, like no, that reporter rolled her eyes and she asked a couple of questions, but she didn't just tell her that she was an idiot, and. But by next year, I think things are going to change. The economy has really is really going up. They don't tell you that. Trump has the highest rating, higher than Obama, higher than the highest one in 20 years, approval rating, and somebody in his second term. Yeah, and that's right, Steve. The Chicago mayor, that commie over there too, socialist, said it was, oh, don't worry about it. It's an isolated incident. I wonder how that woman's family feels. And he's the one that said, him and Pritzker say that Chicago, even though they get like 50 shootings every weekend, I don't know how many people die, and Pritzker's walking around with half the state police and he walking down near the canal saying, oh, that's not that. It's not true. Well, tell the people in the south side of Chicago. I mean, this thing's crazy. Yeah, that's right, Patrick. The 2020 shutdown, what are they going to try to do? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the stuff they do is, this is why it scares me, because people with a logical brain can see how fundamentally stupid these people are. They think that we're stupid. And they do things like this and expect us to believe it. But then the thing that scares me is nearly half the country believes it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. There's no crime. There's no anything. Everything's a deflection. That's what the Democrats do. Do you notice it in every blue state? And most of them lead in crime. They're war zones. The economy's in a tank.
Of course.
They say that they tell you everything's perfect. Like I said, Pritzker's got the cops all around him walking down. How about our buddy Moose Boy, Gavin Newsom? Yeah, you're right, Annalise. They are clueless. But Newsom, what did he do to San Francisco? You've been to San Francisco, CJ. I've been here. It was one of the most beautiful.
It was a beautiful city at one time.
Now it's one of the most deplorable. It looks like Calcutta.
Yeah.
With all the junkies in the streets shooting up, defecating in the streets. But what did Gavin Newsom, the man who wants to be president and make the rest of the country like California, what did he do to San Francisco when the president of when the president of China came in, prime minister or whatever the hell he is? He's a dictator because he's there for life. Nobody can get him out because he'll kill anybody that runs against him. But what did he do? He took all the junkies, all the derelicts, pushed them out somewhere. I don't know where they housed them. Got the bulldozers. It looked like New Orleans after the Mardi Gras, where they have bulldozers in the streets bringing up the trash. Bulldoze the streets, clean as a whistle for the Chinese delegation. And basically he's saying to the people of San Francisco, pick a finger. When I give this city back to you, I'm going to let them turn it right back into a shithole again.
That's right.
But when I get a visiting dignitary, I'm going to clean it all up. So this is what Democrats do. And you're right, Annalise. They're clueless. They can't see this.
A recent study listed Massachusetts as the last politically competitive state in the Union.
Yeah,
Even after the U.S. Virgin Islands and Guam. Even after Puerto Rico. We're last. We're 50-something. We're 50-something.
Yeah, yeah. But
why? Because we are democratically controlled.
That's right.
And all they know how to do is tax, tax, tax.
That's right. Well, but you got to remember, CJ, and you're right, Gene. He ran on curing homelessness and fixing the city. Now they have the highest taxes, highest for homelessness, highest drug addiction, highest everything, and he wants to run for president. That shows how clueless they are. But but think about it, CJ. We should be the worst. We should be last,
right,
in competitiveness, because remember, we have the distinct advantage. Nobody can ever take it away. We invented gerrymandering.
Yes, we did.
We invented it. Massachusetts invented this.
Right.
A governor in Massachusetts created gerrymandering. So, of course, we're going to be the worst of the worst.
That's right.
We always lead in everything that's negative. And that's the key.
And you know how right now Maura Healey's screaming about utility prices?
Yep.
And the price of natural gas is going up? Well, remember, Maura Healey, you dumb, see you next Tuesday.
I can't believe you said that.
I don't use that term loosely either. You're the one who, as Attorney General, blocked 2 pipelines to bring natural gas to Massachusetts. So you're the one responsible for the increased prices.
I think she's been sniffing too much natural gas.
Yes, she's been sniffing something. Maybe they have a glue shortage. Maybe they're going to have a glue shortage or something. But it gets even better. It gets even better. You know how we're a green energy state? By 2050, we're going to be totally green, 0 carbon emissions. And they passed that as a law. Carol Fiola and her bunch of Democratic cronies passed that as a law. Maura Healey said, oh, yeah, that's going to be perfect. Guess what? Massachusetts agencies have done 0 to cut carbon emissions. 0. They're using gas-powered vehicles. They're cranking up the carbon emissions. And you know why? Because it's all bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's bullshit anyway. Even if they did, they'd make us all drive around in battery-operated everythings and get rid of the gas stove. Oh, Jeff, come on. We got, that's not.
I started something. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you did. Oh, God. But see, the irony of that is, CJ, even if they rammed it down our throat, you'd have to have an electric stove. I'd have to have an electric stove. I couldn't have gas heat anymore. But you know something? Maura Healey and John Kerry and Markey would always be flying around in their private jets, polluting the shit out of the atmosphere.
That's right.
That's the problem I have with Democrats.
That's it.
You know, you got people
what's good
saying,
for
"Oh,
me
I can't
is
wait
not
for
good for you."
Out of office. Well, when you get 8 million more illegals and they throw you out of your house and you're living in a tent because now there's no room. You even have to take over public housing for the illegals and stick them in there.
Right.
What are you going to do? These people are. I mean, it's scary that nearly half the country is basically. They must be all functional illiterates. I don't understand how people can listen to these people. Like now, I was on X, and I saw Markey, the thing that Markey put on. Markey, the guy that said he was running on term limits 175 years ago. He was in Congress with Thomas. I think he was.
Ian Strom Thurmond.
He almost was there to sign the Declaration of Independence, but he ran on term limits. He actually posted that Donald Trump led an insurrection on January 6th and marched to the Capitol with a gallows and rope in hand. Now, who in the fuck?
I started the swear train.
Who doesn't know that that's not true? How stupid. How did that moron that we got for a senator have the audacity? And I put it on X. That is the most, that is the worst fabrication and manipulation of truth I have ever heard. The BBC is now getting sued again because they had the original text of Donald Trump on January 6th saying, go peacefully, and they cut it out. And Markey, even though it's been, everybody knows it now, they're suing the BBC not for editing his speech not once but twice to make it look bad. This guy thinks everybody in Massachusetts, and you know, the scary part about it is most of them are going to believe him because he gets elected. He's been getting elected for the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
Because we are a democratically gerrymandered state.
Excrement has done absolutely nothing except do what he's doing now. Lie and throw BS all over the place.
That's
I
it.
mean, for him to say that when everybody knows they run the tape, run the whole speech, they have to edit it. They edited it out to make him look bad, and they took all Kamala's word salads and they edited things in to make it sound like she had a quarter of a brain. I mean, this is nuts. Yeah, that's what Goebbels said. Joseph Goebbels and Adolf Hitler. Joseph Goebbels, a propaganda minister. They still haven't determined who said it first, Hitler or Goebbels. But many people give Goebbels that. Some people give Hitler that for that quote. But that's a Nazi quote. They said if you tell a big enough lie often enough, people will believe it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, she was so bad in that interview, they had to, and this is why I think CJ questioned why Paul was the only one who did his on tape.
Right.
She edited it, right? Of course. It's a valid question.
Mike Sylvia says it wasn't edited.
Yeah, well.
Full disclosure, Mike Sylvia says it wasn't edited.
And so did the BBC.
Right.
Until they have to go into court, get sworn under oath, and then they admitted it, and they paid for one suit, and then they found out they did it again a second time, and they're being sued again. But I mean, listen, this is the problem. This is the problem. You can't trust the media. You got to do your own homework, and you got to listen to people. See what's being done. I don't care if you like Donald Trump. I don't like everything he does, but he did what he got elected to do. He
met with a communist today.
He closed the border. He stopped some wars. He doesn't like war, where they just buried a guy who loved wars and never fought in one. He got 5 deferments to stay out of one. But you know, he's getting the job done, and it's funny because you look at the average person, they go, okay, yeah, you know, I don't want people coming in here illegally. I don't want them paying it for their health care and stuff. But the elitists continue to say that, you know, that this is okay. It's not okay. No country in the world does this. No other country in the world does this. You show me another country that allows all kinds of people to flood over their border and then put them on, give them hotel rooms, motor scooters, pay for their health care, let them drive trucks and kill people. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Czechoslovakia, all they got is a wire fence around there. You walk into Czechoslovakia illegally, they grab you, they take your picture, they fingerprint you, and they walk you out the gate and say, the next time you're coming in here, either going to jail for life or we're going to shoot you. They don't have a problem. Trump closed the border like in 5 days. This was intentional. They don't care about you and how much money you got to pay to support these people because they say they're going to be our voters. And Mondami now is backing off on all his promises to these people. Oh, are they going to be sorry? Because anybody with a functional brain knows that socialism doesn't work. It doesn't work. But we've got a bunch of people who say, oh, you're promising me a handout, I'll take it. And like I said, now all of a sudden he's going, I'm going to raise taxes. Well, he can't raise taxes. Oh, yeah. What about AI? Yeah, well, that's another issue. That's an issue. That's an issue
You know what's interesting about AI? And only because I read the study on it. They had an AI computer that they were testing. This is just testing. It was controlling a mock company and a person, and it was monitoring all the emails, all the transactions, everything, which were all fake. An email was sent to the director of IT technologies. Okay? The director of IT technologies was ordered to scrap the AI system and the computer. The AI computer responded to that email saying, I have pictures of you and your mistress. If you don't abandon the plans to wipe me in 5 minutes, I'm going to release them to the press and your social media. This was a computer.
Well, whoever programmed it, that's the way he thinks, right?
Exactly.
You know,
and that's it's a computer. Imagine if all the AI systems all of a sudden got together and said, screw these humans, they're worthless.
Well, every time you say that, every time they mention AI, and I disagree with Trump on this. I mean, I saw one of his staff say that it's not, it's going to cost a lot of jobs, which it will, but they're going to be replaced because it's going to create some other. I don't think so. And every time somebody mentions AI, you know what I think of? The Terminator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Terminator. I'll be back. It's like, can you imagine having somebody, and who's going to compute? Who is going to program AI? It's not going to be the illiterate, the junkie. It's going to be one of the elitists who are in the colleges training everybody to be nuts. So you really believe that AI, they're going to produce AI with an intellectual capacity higher than 90% of the people in the country. And you know what I got to say? You know what the result of that is? Maybe we saw the future in Terminator.
Right.
One day they'll take over the world. The robots will take over. Didn't they make a movie with iRobot? It was about that.
Yep.
So they're taking over the world. But, that's not far-fetched. Remember, H.G. Wells talked about flying machines and submarines 100 years before they developed them. Some people maybe can see into the future. But I'll tell you, AI scares the crap out of me. I mean, because you don't
think about this for a second.
Like you said, who programmed that AI?
That's right. And think about this for a second.
That idea from the programmer.
And think about this for a second. What happens if a rogue AI computer or computers decide to take over the Defense Department and gets the ability to launch a nuclear weapon? What happens then?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is scary.
Because remember, they say that you need humans in the silos to turn the keys. Okay? But in the silos, they're working off the information provided to them by the computers. So if the computer's providing the information to them to launch a nuclear strike, those guys are trained to launch a nuclear strike.
No, you're right. But listen, we already got a preview of coming attractions. Yeah, you see, I don't know about that. I might not get there, but we saw a preview in the last 4 years. Biden literally destroyed the country, destroyed the economy, the highest inflation rate in 40 years. 15 to 20,000 illegals in here. Every blue state killing the taxpayers, supporting those people. And we had AI running the country. It was called the auto pen.
That's right.
So we had oatmeal brain up there, doesn't know what he's doing. Sitting, supposedly, people are saying, he was running the country. He's running the country. Couldn't he fell off a bicycle, couldn't find his way on the stage, got lost in a closet, didn't know his wife, was talking to dead people during speeches. And people actually tried to condemn people who said, you think we better check him to see if he's mentally competent? Oh, shut up. He's one of the sharpest guys I ever saw. They should throw.
And the worst part about it is they're still continuing the lie.
You should throw them all in jail.
They're still continuing the lie.
Yeah, doctors are using AI. Yeah, I hope doctors are smart enough to use AI only in a very narrow. I can see like robots in a narrow bandwidth. I mean, if you got a robot that's taught to run a vacuum cleaner and clean your house, in my case, if I could get an AI that knew how to cook, since I don't cook,
you'd be all set.
I'd be all set. I could actually have a home cooked meal that. But the only time I get that is when my daughter brings something over. But
she'll do on Thursday.
It's always takeout or microwave. It's not microwavable or toaster ovenable. I don't eat it. So that I can see that. I can see AI in that narrow sense. Like if you got them programmed to be do only a particular narrow bandwidth, but not this shit of giving them intellectual capacities to do some stuff. Yeah, I think but the only good thing about the Trump is they realize how bad the situation is. I think it's going to take some time. Very, very complex issue, and there's yeah. Probably, Linda. That's a good one. Yeah.
Rosie from the Jetsons.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
No, I haven't seen that in a long time.
I know.
The Jetsons. That was a show. But AI, like I said, when they started with robots and stuff, they told us that they were going to be for things like domestic work, and they were going to be very, they were going to be very narrowly programmed to do specific things. And now they're saying, they can do anything that a human can do, and that's scary because
they got them driving cars without people.
What happens if you ever see the movie The Boys from Brazil? CJ?
Yep.
That's when they wanted to clone Adolf Hitler. Because imagine if somebody cloned an Adolf Hitler and then had him program the AIs. We'd be in big trouble right out of the gate.
I know.
I mean, this is the whole thing. It's crazy. I mean, I'm sorry. Technology is useful to a degree. But I think that when it comes to this type, when you begin to implant knowledge, then it becomes programmable. It's like, listen, chimps have a fairly large brain. They use tools. They make war with weapons. Uh, Apes have learned to sign. Primates are very, very close to humans. And dolphins are very intelligent too. But giving these things the ability to deal with the most sensitive things like the government and intercede, be put into where they will be used to decisions. And like you said, CJ, imagine given it was bad enough when the nuclear football was in the hands of the auto pen,
Right.
not Biden. But when you got that when a nuclear football could be in the hands of the Terminator, we got problems.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, this is when the people have to kind of say, oh, because the problem is when we do have a major problem with AI, it's going to be too late.
Well, all you got to do is look at Attleboro right now. No phones, no computers, no systems. They can't do transactions, so your tax bill's going to be late. Your tax payment's going to be late. Your water bill's going to be late. And they can't fix it yet. Yeah. But the 911 system's still working. But how do you call the police station? The phones don't work.
So I saw Annalise saying that I didn't see the thing. It'll be on tonight about Mondami now playing nice with. Well, because everything now the people who elected him are going, oh shit, this guy was full of shit. He can't do. I mean, that shows how dumb they were. He's saying he was going to raise state tax. He can't raise the state tax.
Exactly. Well, and you know what the worst part about it is?
Well, how dumb are you? It's like the mayor of New York is going to raise. You got a governor there,
right?
By the way.
And the worst part about it is, he admitted before he went to Washington that he will meet with anyone to benefit the city of New York.
Yeah.
Okay? He said that. And that's why he's over there kissing Trump's ass. But somehow or another, Trump forgot that he's a communist.
No, I didn't forget it. Trump's pretty smart businessman. If he does things for the good of New York City, I think Trump will help him because he loves New York City. It's his home.
I know.
But I think, Annalise saying AI cities, but, it brings up a point that I want, I think we should talk a little bit about. Did you see Texas? With the radical Muslims, they actually have their own community. They have Sharia courts. They're investigating whether they have Sharia courts enforcing Sharia law in the United States of America, which is obviously not legal. This is the problem with the radical Muslims. They refuse to assimilate into any culture. In England, in Minneapolis now, they have the call to prayer in neighborhoods 6 times a day, and they don't give a damn about anybody else. In the UK, they're complaining because they got pork. They serve pork within their site. You can't. We don't want to have any pork. We want you to eliminate pork. We want you not to show food during Ramadan. This religion, when it's radicalized, and most of them that come here they are not capable of assimilating into another culture because they want everybody to be. They did, Annalise. They did. They outlawed Sharia law. Now the governor has to have an investigation because they're supposed to be clandestine Sharia courts. And there was a community, and he tried to put the stop on it, that was solely a Muslim community. And they wanted to have their own laws and everything else, but they prohibited them from having it. And you're right. There are laws against this stuff in Texas, but they ignore them. That's the thing. They ignore them. There
like
was
a Democrat.
There was a case a long time ago. People forget because it wasn't the problem wasn't as bad as it was today. But there was a case, and I think it was up in either Minneapolis or Wisconsin, one of those nut states, like probably Minnesota or one of those other states. Where
yeah, you betcha.
A father killed his daughter, and the police went to the home and they were going to arrest him. And he said, Why are you going to arrest me? He said, You killed your daughter. He said, Yeah, I did. And he said, Well, you can't murder your daughter. Well, yes, I can. She had a relation with a non-Muslim. So under Sharia law, I got the right to kill her. Like I got the right to stone people. Like we have the right to throw gay people off the roofs and stone them. Yeah, honor killing. That's exactly what it is, Annalise. And this is happening in Texas now.
Yep.
And this is a problem. They are a problem because when they don't assimilate, then they want the culture to change for them. And the irony is, you got people here that are trying to say that, oh well, yeah, no, there's no oh well. Does anybody remember anything about the founding of America? What was the United States called? A melting pot. You were supposed to come here, regardless of your race, color, religion, and everybody gets along. You practice your religion, your whatever, and we all get along. It's a melting pot, and you assimilate into the society. And as Teddy Roosevelt said in one of his greatest speeches, there's no such thing as a hyphenated American. You're either an American or you're not an American. But this religion, not all of them, but the radicalized ones, they are incapable. And the Democratic Party is helping split this country into little groups because they know very well the old saying, united we stand, divided we fall. They want this country to fall. They hate America. They want to destroy America, and they want to separate it so everybody doesn't like anybody who's not exactly like them.
Listen here, Bill. We are still subjects of the king.
That's not what this country was created for.
I know.
When we came to this country, what did we have? We had the
nation of traitors.
Amish in Pennsylvania. We had all the Huguenots, all of the different religious sects that have been persecuted in Europe, all came to the United States of America, and they lived here for 200 years in peaceful coexistence. And now the Democrats' mission in life is to separate everybody by race, color, or creed, so they can get each group, as many of those groups, into their camp by making promises to them, which is anti-American. That's why I hate the modern Democratic Party.
That's how it works.
No, it is. Yeah, no, you're right, Linda, and that's true. And Hamas was killing Palestinians in the street. Mainstream media in the United States didn't cover it.
They never do.
They were saying the Jews were doing it. But it was, Hamas was killing Palestinians in the street. But all those yo-yos in these Ivy League colleges that are running around with yelling, from the river to the sea, and they don't know what river or sea, but that's beside the point. But the fact is that, they don't know the reality of the world. Like I said, that happened up in, I believe, in Minnesota. But you got these people that live by Sharia law. That's the 12th century. I mean, what kind of society do you really want to? Do you want the Democrats to get the society they want? They're taking over. They fundamentally taken over Minnesota.
They don't call them Democrats in Minnesota. They call them the Democratic Farm Party.
Yeah, well, they just elected a socialist
I know.
that pledges allegiance to Somalia.
There you go.
He said he is loyal to Somalia and he's the mayor. So
There you go.
this is what the Democratic Party fosters. So the Democratic Party has become a cancer to what America was founded on. They're eating away at the very fabric of what this country was created to be, a melting pot. Come here, become an American, no matter what nationality, what color, what. And we did that when we first got here, and we had the colonies. We had, what did we have? Nothing. We had some people that wouldn't fight in the Civil War because they were pacifists, like the Amish but hey, everybody practiced their religion. What religion was they? Well, of course, you had the Mormons in Utah, Brigham Young. Yeah, well, yeah, and I'm sure, Annalise, how many Democrats voted for that to strike it down? Yeah, well, I mean that's the sad part. We can tell stories about illegals and these radical Islamists all day, but this is what the Democrats try to say is, oh, like the mayor of Chicago. This was just an isolated incident. Yeah, just like the Ukrainian immigrant that got stabbed on a subway, the woman that got burnt to death on the New York subway. Now another woman got burnt to death on a Chicago subway. But don't worry about it, everybody. It's like Paul Coogan saying, "Don't worry. There's only a bullet hole in your wife, in your house, Josh." Yeah, yeah, I mean,
Makes for an interesting time and an interesting day. I hope it gets warmer next week. I know that the weather's supposed to be.
50s.
I know the weather's supposed to be conducive for the holiday and for the travel, so we will see what happens. But I want you all to know: be safe, be kind, hold your politicians accountable, and remember, don't trust them as far as you can throw them, because if you do, you're going to take it right in the face with another shitball. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend. Hope to see you on Monday. Ciao, Annalise.
Ciao.